This video was made for a 9th generation Honda Accord. Other generations are similar, principle is the same. Just remember that you should always check if you can take off the fill plug before you start to drain the oil, or you may get yourself in some serious trouble. And just a disclaimer, these are just my experiences. If you choose to follow my advice, do so at your own risk. If you have a Honda Accord manual transmission, you really need to be changing your oil, something like every 30,000 miles. And what you want to do is use Honda genuine manual transmission fluid. Why take a chance with anything else? Now, changing your manual transmission fluid is not any more difficult than changing your engine oil. Let me show you. The first thing you're going to have to do is to locate the fill plug. And on this particular generation, which is the 2013, you'll find it if you look down between the battery and the air filter. Let's see if we can get this in view right here. Okay, right there, let's see if I can focus that. Right there, you see that square, the plug there with the square, that is what you need to be able to access. So you need to get yourself a proper tool like this. You need some extensions which you can pick up easily, and what I recommend is use a short one on this end, because that's gonna take most of the torque. And I have several actually, and you might also want to get a an extension bar like this, because it's if you don't break the engine, because it's going to be on there pretty tight probably. Now, some people recommend taking out the battery, and you can certainly do that, but in this case I found that you can get to this plug without having to do that. So I've got my extensions on here. You just want to be careful because you've got the terminals there. You don't want to touch the terminals. So let's see if this is going to come out. If this comes out, then I'm going to go ahead and do the change. So I'm just going to take it easy on this. Sometimes I find that, trying to tighten up and loosen kind of helps things to budge. Now this is pretty tight. So it's important to take your time, because I've seen other videos of people, they break off the end of the extension. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going at this. If this doesn't come out, then now another reason why it might be a good idea to take out the battery is if you can't get this off, then you want to try with a shorter extension. I may have to do that. Actually, it worked. So the next step, now that I know that's going to come off, is to locate the drain plug underneath. Now, in relation to the engine, let's see if we can find that where we drain the oil out. So if we go into here, I have this jacked up right now, and if we look right there, so you can see next to the exhaust, that is the bolt that we need to drain out the fluid from. Okay, so now we're underneath, and we've got the same situation again, because this is going to be on tight. And so we just need to, okay, that came loose quite easily, probably because I did this before. So then you need to get the oil pan. Get the oil pan underneath, and let's see if we can drain that. There we go. And if I'd been smart, I would have loosened the one on the top to make it easy for the oil to come out, which I forgot to do. Now here's a plug I took off, and you can see that this has a flat washer with it. It's not a compression thing, so I'm not going to change this. I think there's no reason to do that as long as it's in good condition. So I'm just going to put this one back, and then I'm going to add some oil in the top. Here's the fluid that came out. So I already cleaned this up around here. And I'm just going to screw this back in and tighten it up with the ratchet. Okay. Now, if there were probably torque settings for this, but I'm just going to tighten it up reasonably tight. And I think that will do it. Now, to add oil, you're going to need a funnel with a long extension like this, which is made for a transmission. This part will push into the hole and it'll stop right there. So once that's in place, I'm going to put 2 quarts of this. Then finally, I'm going to put the plug back. You kind of have to get around, put this in place like this, and get that located down there. And I'm just going to turn this by hand first, just tightening this up. I'm going to tighten it up so it's nice and tight, but I'm not going to go crazy because 30,000 miles later it should be coming off again for another oil change. Here are the tools that you're going to need when you do a manual transmission change. You're going to need some long extensions with 3/8 end, which will go directly into not only the drain plug but the fill plug too. And you also need some kind of a bar, because that's probably going to be stiff to take off those plugs. And what I use is a regular 1/2-inch bar, and I've got an adapter that goes to 3/8. And another thing I find useful is just a short extension that I can use with this. It seems to work out well with several of these, just to get the right length. And the other thing that you're going to need is a funnel which has an extension on it, and this is made for a transmission.